Hello Doctor Who fans and Big Finish fans. Today I'm looking at Firma. This is quite a special release from the monthly range because it sees the return of the 8th Doctor from the Divergent universe back into the real universe. So yeah, let's check out the cover, then we'll do the booklet, then the discs, and then my overall thoughts on this story. So without further ado, let's look at the cover. Okay, so the cover consists of the Doctor Who Paul McGann logo. We have the 8th Doctor there, 2 Daleks and the Emperor Dalek, and we have a planet which I'm not going to reveal its true identity because that is quite a major spoiler to the story. We have other cast members there, Big Finish and Paul McGann. On the spine we have Firma. The camera will sort of focus there, number 72, and a picture of the 8th Doctor there from the cover. On the back we have what the story is about, so if you want to read it then do feel free to. The total runtime for this audio is 100 minutes, and we have a picture of a TARDIS there, and we have a mini picture of the cover itself. Okay, so that's basically the cover. Now let's look at the booklet and then the disc. Okay, so now onto the cover. So if we open it up, or the booklet, sorry. Okay, so now onto the booklet. So if we open it up, we have some author's notes there, and then we have production notes there. And here we have pictures of the cast members starring in the story itself. At the back we have a bit of biography on the 3 main characters in the story, and advertisement for Doctor Who magazine, and we can see how old this audio is because David Tennant is the Doctor. Are first introduced, and on the back we have the cast members there and a picture of the Dalek and the planet involved in the story. So yeah, that's basically the booklet. Now let's look at the discs and then we go into my... Okay, so on disc 1 we have the Daleks with a green background with the Emperor Dalek there. When we have disc 1 containing part 1 and 2, and then disc 2 contains a picture of the 8th Doctor there, hopefully you can see it, with parts 3 and 4. Now, Firma, I think, is the first 8th Doctor audio to have this reversible cover, so you can have it consistent like the other audio such as Storm Warning, so you can keep the 8th Doctor adventures sort of consistent with the 8th Doctor interior on the back and the sort of black spine there. But I have it the other way around just because it sort of has the 8th Doctor face and it just looks a bit better. So yeah, I'm not sure if this was the first audio, but I think it is. I may be wrong. If I am wrong, please do correct me. So yeah, that's basically the discs. Now let's go on to my thoughts on the story. Okay, so what are my overall thoughts on Firma? Is it a valiant return for the 8th Doctor? No, I wouldn't say it is. I think it's a bit of a weak story. I mean, the story itself doesn't support the characters. There are so many characters in this, and the story doesn't really give the characters time to develop. Even though some characters do get a bit of a background sort of story, it's still not really satisfying for it. The sort of redeeming feature for me is the 8th Doctor and Davros, because they work off each other so wonderfully, and that's just well written, those bits. I think those are the main bits you've really got to focus on for the story. I think that's the highlight for me, the story. The Daleks themselves, you may think, oh, that's brilliant, you know, Davros and the Daleks, that's going to be great. Not really. The Daleks aren't major to the story. They're sort of a very minor part of the story. This story is more about Davros, so it's a character piece. For Davros, it develops a character, and it sort of begins the sort of end of the Renegade and Imperial sort of fraction. So we're starting to evolve into the Time War Daleks, if you like, the Gold and Bronze Daleks. Yeah, so that's basically that. What else? Now we see the character of Chrissy, the 8th Doctor's sort of new companion from the Divergent universe, come into the universe what the Doctor knows about the most, and we get a sort of refresher of what happened to him in the Divergent universe. I've got to say, you don't really need the background on the Divergent sort of universe to understand about this story, really. but I suppose it's nice to have that information to help you support yourself with this story. But that's all I can say, really. I mean, the story itself is rather confusing. It's like the traitor doesn't make much sense, but then in the latter half of the story, it starts to make sense, like Time's Horizon, where you get the answers, what was sort of being questioned at the beginning of the story. So yeah, Terra Firma I wouldn't recommend unless you're a big Davros fan, but if you are a big Davros fan, then I suppose you got this in the Davros collection. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it for just the 8th Doctor and Davros, I suppose, just to see that sort of interaction. But if you're just a big Finnish potterer, don't get it. I can see people easily missing this, but it's a story what I don't really like that much. So I'll probably give it a 5.5 out of 10. I'm not a huge fan of it, and yeah, that's what I'm going to say. The story does have similarities to the name of the Doctor, but I'm not going to reveal what that is because they are big plot points to the story. And we see 2 new companions in this. I'm not going to say any more than that. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this review. My next review is Project Twilight. That's probably going to be a more joyous review because I like that story a lot more than this. So yeah, thank you very much for watching my review of Terra Firma. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you in my next review.